that in the chat. So brilliant. And are you okay with this being recorded? So what we're going to do is we're going to show you a video on Healy for people that are watching. So welcome if you're watching after today or on a replay. So we're gonna have a little video, a really good one on frequency medicine. Okay, thanks for letting me know, Christy. Oh, no, you don't, and you're happy for recording. It's great, isn't it? So that's great. So what we're going to do, we're going to show you a video, and then Karen is going to show you how we do a chakra scan on screen. Okay, and then Fiona, am I right in saying that you've done over 100? Fiona's had her Healy, I don't know, quite a short amount of time compared to me. She's done like over 100 chakra scans. Is that right, Fiona?
I had it since July. So since July.
Yeah. So there ain't nothing about chakras that this lady don't know. So then, so Fiona's going to talk us through her take on the chakras, how she works with Healy so that we can get the most out of it. And during the call, Karen will be taking a photo. So does everybody give permission just from the screen, because you're actually going to receive frequencies today. And anybody also by intention, anybody that's watching the recording, you're going to receive frequencies. So we just want to let you know that. And then, yes, Fiona's going to give us some lowdown on how she uses Healy with the chakras, what that means. And let's have a little look at this scan that comes up and see if we resonate with it. Okay, so it's about 45 minutes. We don't want to go any longer than that because we know that you're all really, really busy. So without further ado, I'm going to just pass over to Karen to share your screen with the beautiful frequency video. I absolutely know this is the future medicine, guys, and even Einstein himself said the future medicine will be the medicine of frequencies. Well, the future's here.
Same response to all the time. Would you want to have your own medical device at home that you could scan your body and identify different deficiencies that you may be suffering from and actually provide you with relief and support? Oh, you may say, of course, everybody would. And that's the answer that we get. This little device called the Healy is the most remarkable. In fact, I believe it's the biggest paradigm shift we'll ever see in our lifetime. Now, I was hearing all these testimonies about how this relieves pain, but what happened at the time, I had this little device and I had the worst tooth pain I've ever had in my life. I tried taking all kinds of painkillers, nothing would work. So I decided to run this little device, and ladies and gentlemen, I am telling you, in less than 30 minutes, my pain was completely gone. You see, guys, this is what got my attention. The fact that Healy is a microcurrent medical device that has been cleared by the United States Food and Drug Administration for the relief of acute, chronic, and arthritis pain and muscle soreness due to overexertion. I've never seen a disclaimer like this before. In fact, Healy also has non-medical applications that use individualized frequencies to help balance your mind and body and relieve stress. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but when I found out that this device has over 300,000 frequencies and can help support the body in so many areas, think about it this way. There's frequencies to help you to relax, frequencies to give you energy, frequencies to help take away pain. How about people that have trouble with sleeping, stress, exhaustion? Guys, this was something that literally blew me away. And there was even more frequencies. Frequencies dealing with weight management, circulation. In fact, those of you that work out, there's even frequencies that help with muscle regeneration. Frequencies, ladies and gentlemen, that even help with your eyes, your hormones, your intestines, your nerves. Frequencies that help with your immune system, even the menstrual cycle. Frequencies, guys, that help with bacteria, tonsils, liver, toxins, prostate, lungs. I mean, the list was so long, and I was so impressed as I kept looking at frequencies for the heart. And ladies, how about frequency to even help with hair growth and nails? Frequencies on anti-aging, supporting wounds, and so much more. Over 300,000 frequencies, even helping with the brain. So you're probably thinking, wait a minute, what are microcurrents and frequency therapy? Why haven't I ever heard of this before? Well, ladies and gentlemen, frequencies are nothing new. In fact, well over 100 years ago, Nikola Tesla made a profound statement. He said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Now, he was a very brilliant man when it came to frequencies, but his work was not designed for profit. And so it made his funding literally dry up and stop. But ladies and gentlemen, had this not been the case, we'd have already been living in a very different world years ago. In fact, everything in life has a frequency. Your bodies have frequencies. Your cells have frequencies. You know, Einstein knew this when he published 3 articles back in 1905 that literally dealt with quantum physics. And this was based on the theories of Nikola Tesla. Now, what Einstein said is that the future of medicine will be the medicine of frequencies. Beginning in the 1900s, doctors and engineers started working together, and they found that certain frequencies could actually reduce pain, that it could reduce even scar tissue. Then in 1934, when Dr. Rife invented the Rife machine, he knew that everything vibrates on its own natural frequency. He believed that if he could discover the frequencies of disease-causing microorganisms, he could destroy them with the same vibrational frequency, in much as the same way an opera singer matches the frequency of a wine glass with their voice and shatters them. He even made the statement that he documented that he had literally cured patients with cancer. Well, we know you cannot make medical claims like that. Of course, the powers to be, they got involved. The Rife machine was taken and destroyed. All of the evidence that he had was totally taken away. And when it came to frequency technology, everything went dark until the 1980s, 1990s, when German scientists and physicians started working together, getting some amazing results dealing with microcurrents and frequencies. In fact, they can actually take computers and measure how the body cells were responding to the frequency. Now, the most advanced machine that came out was the time waver machine. In fact, these machines were sold to doctors and physicians from anywhere between $12,000 and $40,000. Now, the therapists were using these devices, and they were using them with their patients and getting remarkable results. Now, while these doctors and physicians and therapists were getting great results, they weren't simply reaching enough people fast enough. So Marcus Schmieke, the owner of Time Waver, took the technology that was in the big Time Waver device and condensed it down into a small wearable health technology. This device is called the Healy, and you can see how small it is in comparison to your cell phone. In fact, your cell phone, your smartphone, actually controls the Healy. Now, he did this, of course, because he wanted this technology to be in the homes of over 100 million families. And just to give you a little insight on how microcurrents work, you can go do research on Bjorn Nordstrom. He was a gentleman that was actually a part of the committee of the Nobel Peace Prize. This is his chart where he realized that our cells have a voltage, and a healthy cell's voltage, much like a young child. That's the reason why when a child falls, his skin repairs itself very quickly, or if he breaks a bone, he repairs very quickly, because the cell voltage is at its optimal capability. But ladies and gentlemen, as we start to age, as we start to take in different toxins and radiations, the cell voltage starts to go down. And as that happens, you see aches and pains sets in, inflammation sets in, cell division, and eventually cell death. We know that unhealthy cells will make unhealthy organs, just like we know healthy cells will make healthy organs. So because of this, this technology, ladies and gentlemen, is designed to use the microcurrents to raise the ATP production of up to 500%. It also increases protein synthesis for the cell, as well as it increases the amino acid transport up to 40%. Now, here's what's so amazing about this little device. It is the quantum sensor. Now, this quantum sensor is simply amazing. It's actually able to sense what frequency your cells need to respond to the most, give them the right amount of frequency that they need before it moves along and scans more cells to see what frequencies they need. That's why this patented technology is absolutely phenomenal, giving our body the exact right amount of frequencies that we need to be able to best support the body and its functions. They have a complete medical advisory board. One of their doctors is Dr. Carolyn McMakin. You will see a lot of videos and testimonies on the amazing results that she's having using frequency therapy. In fact, she's one of the prominent doctors that work with a lot of the NFL players when they have injuries and to get record time recovery. It is absolutely just powerful when you do your research. Now, you're probably saying, man, I'd love to talk to some of these doctors. Well, you can. They have a special app that if you purchase the app, ladies and gentlemen, you can now have the database of a lot of different problems or something that you may have. You simply type it in, and then it gives you the response back of the different frequencies that would be great for you to run that would help support your body in those areas. Can you imagine having at your disposal a network of up to 2,500 doctors and practitioners? Now that's great, but what I'm about to share with you is another huge paradigm shift. You know how we're always taking our vitamins and pills, or maybe we take liquid nutrition? Well, what if, ladies and gentlemen, this technology, the same technology that we're using, was actually able to deliver your nutrition to you digitally? That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the next paradigm shift is here. You see, they have something called the Healy Watch that monitors the different things that are going on in your body. But the watch is so sophisticated that while you're eating a meal, it can even detect the amount of vitamin D or vitamin E that you did not get out of that meal, and then turn around and digitally put that same vitamin or nutritional substance into your system digitally. Would that be phenomenal? That's exactly what we have here. It's the next level digital nutrition. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard what I said. This is the next level. Think about nutritional mixtures for hair, for your brain, for your skin, for your nails, for anti-aging, minerals. How about with weight management, the best weight loss program, ladies and gentlemen, you could ever be on? How about more digital nutritions that they have for menstruation, for toxins in the body, for sports, nutrition for men, for women, for sleep, for ears, for nails, for head, for heart. You guys are looking at pages and pages. How about vitamin A, vitamin B4, zinc, iron? Ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you that the next generation is here, it is here. You are looking at it in front of you, and it truly is powerful. Can you imagine having unlimited nutrition for the entire family per month? People who know about this device is creating record sales. In fact, in the United States, over $3.9 million worth was sold in just the very first few days of opening in the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, get back in touch with the person that invited you to watch this video to hear some amazing testimonies and how you can learn more about this amazing breakthrough technology and the fastest way that you can not only get your questions answered, but get your hands on your own personal wearable health technology, the Healy.
Wow. Do you know, every time I watch that, it just mesmerizes me. And I was thinking this morning while Karen's setting the scan up, hi, Adrienne, it mesmerizes me. And also I was thinking this morning, you look at what we do with technology, and yet technology and wellness, you know, look at it in cars, look at it in your cell phone, look at it in your computer. Why are we, you know, why is the wellness industry taking so long to catch up? That was a thought that I had this morning. So are you happy to do a scan, Karen, a chakra scan? Okay, brilliant. So we can receive some delicious frequencies.
Okay, so Fiona, are you wanting us to do an aura scan or just the chakras?
Do the chakra scan.
Okay. So we're going to just add a group, that's us today. So if you don't mind, I'm going to take a photo of everybody in the group. Okay, and I'm going to call it the UK Frequency Experience. Could help if and we put it for today's date, and it's the UK. Add client. I'm going to do the analysis. So I'm going to actually go and choose program for the chakras. So here you can see how many different programs that we have, ranging from Alaskan Gemaliscas to all the Healy programs, Australian bush flowers, Bach flower remedies. We've got animal programs, beauty, all the way, and here's the chakras. So we'll do an analysis. So basically what we're doing is we're using my finger on the screen, and that is basically the intention for the whole group. So the intention is, okay, so what is it that resonates with all of us today? What is the most important, and what can we receive today?
Actually, Karen.
Yes.
Sorry, darling. I think it would be, because this won't bring up the graph, will it? Of the chakras, which I think would be easier. So if you could go into the other one, into the aura, I think that would be easier, because then people can actually see the graph of the chakras, because that would just bring up the ones as in importance. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
I think it's just more, yeah, it's more visible.
Okay.
More visual, I should say.
That's today's one. So that's just basically scanning all of us that's on the call today to see what is required. So we'll go for the analysis. So it's not doing too bad. It could be better. So it's a case of if we run this analysis, it will show up lots of different things. Start the analysis, and that will be it vibrating. And then this is where we, it basically goes deeper into what it's showing up, and gives you all the descriptions. And I'll let Fiona explain a bit more later on. But in the meantime, we're just going to run the right vibration for the duration of the call.
Great. Okay, so have you got an image at all, Karen, you could put up on the screen of a chart? Then I can talk people. I mean, that might be easy for people to see. If not, it doesn't matter. I can talk about the chakras anyway.
Out of what?
I was just thinking, if you've got, like we had the chart at the beginning.
Okay. I'll see if I can get one.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I'll start with what I work with and why I work with the chakras. I'm absolutely fascinated. As we know, the chakra system to me is just one of the energy systems of the body. We have the meridian system, we have the chakra system, we have all sorts of other different energy systems. But the chakra system to me just tells us a story of what is going on within our body on every level: mental, emotional, spiritual. And every the main, start again, the main 7 chakras, they've all got a different physical aspect, they've got a different emotional aspect, they've got different hormones that they govern. We've got about 120 odd chakras actually, but these are the 7 main ones that most people traditionally know about. So if we start off with, when we're in harmony within the world, all our chakras will be just flowing. They'll all be lit up. They'll all just feel it. I don't actually see the chakras. I can sense them. I can feel them energetically. So I look at this as a bit like, you know, if you see your house, every room in your house has a different purpose. So, you know, you're going to your bathroom for one reason, to go and wash and clean or whatever, it'll be a different color. If you have a row in one of those rooms in your house, that upsets the whole energy of the whole house. It's not just one room. And that's exactly the same as I see it with the story of the chakras. If one is out of balance, everything is out of balance. So when we look at the base, we start off with the root chakra, Muladhara, which is literally just means root support. This is our foundation. The basic need, a human need in life, is to feel safe, to feel supported. You know, this is just what all of us are looking for all the time. And actually, each of the chakras also have a whole different personality type as well. And when we look at the root chakra, you will find that this is actually 40% of the population, because they're the builders, they're the foundation of life. So root chakra is very much to do with our finances, our health, our relationships. How safe, how supported do we feel? How much certainty do we have in life about all of these? And what was interesting through this last couple of years is noticing how rocked that root chakra has been. And I think globally, it probably has never been so rocked ever before as it has been over the last couple of years, because we've had so much uncertainty. And people who are very root chakra personality types do not like change. And of course, what have we done? We've just gone through the biggest change in the most uncertain period of humanity in so many ways, or particularly in our lives. So the root chakra is absolutely fundamental in creating this base for everything to build upon it. So when you think energetically, I look at this is the roots, it's the going down into Mother Earth. When you look at the power that this has when it's in full balance, that is what exudes this energy that comes up through the whole system. But if that energy right down from the base is rocky, it's not going to fire up to all of the other centers at all. So, you know, people say, oh, you know, just do the affirmations, tell yourself that you love yourself and all this, all very well. But it doesn't sustain itself, as people know, because if the root chakra is not grounded and safe and feeling really in its optimum state, doesn't matter what else you do, it's not going to sustain itself. So root chakra also, the chakras will be related to different ages, and the root one is actually related to the first 7 years of our life. So when we look at emotional issues, and when I've done many chakra workshops, which is why I got the Healy, was because I wanted to enhance what I was doing in my chakra journeys with the Healy. And so when we look at what goes on within our first 7 years of life, an awful lot of emotional baggage is held in the root chakra, because most of our issues stem from those first 7 years, because it's when we're in that theta brainwave state, we are pummeled with information and indoctrination from everyone around us, which actually gives us our beliefs and our values, rightly, wrongly, whatever. But it creates a lot of disturbance in the energy field. So this is one reason why a lot of stuff comes up many, many years later, because it still has not been cleared in the root chakra. Okay, so root chakra, really, really important to make sure that we have that. So the first 3 chakras, and we go on to the sacral, Svadhisthana, they are all responsible for how we show up in the physical world. So when we get into the sacral, Svadhisthana, so that's just above the root, just below your navel, this is a fascinating energy center as well. This is also known as the personality, it's the artists, it's the creators, because this is the place where we create from. It's about our creativity. It's about our passion, our purpose, our sensuality, our sexuality. It's also in Chinese medicine, and they'll call it, it's from the hara, from the tantien. This is the place, if you see martial arts, it all comes from this power center. It's a very, very powerful center. So when we look at the ages here, this is from when we're 7 to 14. So think about what was going on for you between those ages. What was happening for you? So a lot of emotional stuff gets stuck in here, and a lot of traumas, sexual traumas, also get stuck in this energy center. I also think that as we get older, midlifey, this is where people or women put a lot of weight on under this, in this area. And I truly believe that a lot of this is because there's a lot of emotional stuff that's not resolved. There's a lot of emotional trauma still stuck in this area because it's a very, very powerful place. Now, every color for these chakras will have a complementary color. So root chakra is red, is its main one. That's when we want to fire it up. But sometimes we don't need all that energy. Its complementary is green. So that's why we want to go into nature, because we want to feel more grounded. We want to feel safer. With the sacral, we know it as orange. Its complementary is blue, and it's very related to throat. Okay, and I'll come to that in a minute. So Svadhisthana, how are we showing up? How are we? And I've got a great story in a minute. I'll tell you. Actually, I'll tell you very quickly this, because this really showed up for me. When I was doing one of my chakra journeys in a 5-day experience, somebody said to me, and this was when we first went down into lockdown, their boss, who was a theatre director, had gone into the depths of depression. And this was so typical of an out of balance Svadhisthana, because he was a creator and his job overnight had just gone and he did not know how to function at all. And he had gone into the depths of depression because for him, the only thing that he could work around was this place of being an artist. So this is when we need then, and I always say the chakras above and below are the ones they're their best friends. So how can you get the energy from one of the others to pull you out of this? So what he really needed was someone who was very grounded to say, come on, we need to do this. And also going into solar plexus, if someone was very much into that Manipura, be like standing in your power. Come on, let's see what else you can do to fill your cup up with that creativity. It may not be what you've used to be doing, but what can you do to fulfill that need that you have? So that was a fantastic story about somebody who had gone completely out of balance in that Svadhisthana chakra. So really important that we have an understanding of each of them so we know where we need to bring in the energy, a bit like the 5 elements, of the others to support. So solar plexus, Manipura, yellow. Opposite color is violet. This is our power center. So age, 14 to 21. What are we like at 14 to 21? We're really thinking we know everything. We don't want parents telling us what to do, da, 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 da. So power center, the ego center, but it's also very much about our power center, but it's about our being. It's this duality of both. It runs the adrenalines. That's, you know, everyone will have a different hormone. And different physical issues going with those as well. This is the power center that you will see when it's over energized. You will see the politicians are very much in the egotistical side of this because they're, and it's very much, this is what I'm telling you to do. It's my way or the highway. Forget about everything else. They're not in it to see what else other people might have to say. And I'm sure you can recognize people in that. But when we're in our power center, it's like we get things done, but we can have this duality of being and doing, being in that place where we're actually observing, because as a leader, we can lead from observing, not just by telling and managing and just being a bully and telling people what to do. So again, this is really, really powerful. And what I see very often is that this can be totally out of balance. So these are the 3 first chakras, are the ones that are all to do with how we show up in the physical world. So we've got earth element, which is the root, is to do how grounded we feel, really. Svadhisthana is our emotional, it's the water center. Manipura is all to do with the fire. Okay, so it's our fire center. It's our mental thoughts. Okay, so we've got emotions in the water. Fire is all the mental thoughts. And then we come to the bridge. So the heart. The heart, known as Anahata, the bridge between the physical and coming up into the spiritual. So we know the heart governs the lungs, it governs our breath, it governs our sense of joy, our sense of forgiveness, our compassion, our self-love. And so many people have a real problem with this, a real problem with this, because we're not taught necessarily how to love ourselves. And of course, we've gone through that broken-hearted. So when you look at the colors here, it is green. It's associated with green. We also associate the heart with pink and red because its complementary color is red. So you see how when we're feeling out of balance, we can come back into that red energy or bringing back in some of that energy from the root, bring that back in. So it complements both here. So heart. And that's, you know, coming up the age group, it's a little bit later. We got to 21 to 28, if you want to go into that. And then, of course, we come into throat, Vishuddha. I don't think I've ever run anybody's chakras who does not have a problem with their throat chakra. Throat chakra governs top of the shoulders, throat issues, ear issues, all these things, thyroid issues, because it's about us speaking up, expressing ourselves in our truth. And let's face it, from a very young age, we are taught it's not safe to speak up. And I've had many, this is one chakra I've had to work with probably more than any of the others, because I was taught also, like many, it's not safe to speak up. And actually after my divorce, what I discovered was I had a thyroid problem. So no surprise there, because it's just like how many people, how many children, I mean, we don't hear it so much now because I'm not sure if they're doing it so much, would have adenoids out, tonsils out, always got ear infections, throat problems. Why do you think that is? Because they're not allowed to speak up. As soon as they go to school at the age of 5, they're told to sit down and be quiet. And you can look at the age group slightly differently here as well. So when we've got the root can represent the first 7 years as well. So the root chakra would be the first year, going into the second year for sacral, third year for solar plexus, fourth year heart, fifth year when they go to school in our country is throat. This is the first time really when they get into school that they have to come under the disciplinary of the rules and regulations. And so it starts there that we do not speak up. So third eye, Ajna, indigo, beautiful indigo, complementary color is gold. Our point of wisdom, our point of intuition, the inner knowing, how much are we tuning into that? Okay. Crown Sahasrara is represented by, you know, iridescent white, violet. It's a connection to consciousness. And actually, when you look at personality types, these are basically the people who are really up here are those monks that are literally sitting in a cave. It would be like 1% of the population. So when we're looking at this system, how long have I got, girls?
5 minutes max,
5 minutes.
because we've got to wrap up, but about 3 minutes, B, and then
about 3 minutes, that's fine. So when we look at the chakras and we look at how Healy can help us, what I use Healy for is to use it to tell me what's happening with that person. What is the story going on here? Where is the imbalances and where are the imbalances consistently showing up? So what I do with Healy, and this is where it's been absolutely fascinating when I've done these Healy chakra readings, is I will take a reading, we'll go through all of the information, and that information, and I can tell you I've done over 100, is absolutely spot on. Sometimes people will say, oh, I can't relate to that. That doesn't sound right. And that's probably the first one that we come into. And then I say, just wait, just have a listen to the story, unfold the story. And it is always spot on. So and then I run the frequencies if I'm doing a chakra reading for probably 2 minutes 49, and then I redo this chakra scan. And so I can see then if it's completely changed, or if we've got one or two, or maybe all three of them that are exactly the same. And then I know that these are the problems, and also the information in the chakra stuff that comes up, which ones we really need to work on. And what I've discovered is over this is that people who are creatives, so copywriters, real creative people, very, very strong in the sacral, as you would expect. But when it comes to speaking up, that chakra will always be low. And also the solar plexus, because their power is in the writing. And this has happened with everyone that I've done readings for who are very much into this. Their power is in their writing. So you start to see a pattern with them. So with the chakras, and then I will also, if I'm doing a chakra reading and I'm doing a session with them, I will go into the flower essences as well, because we need that emotional support for what's going on with the rest of it. So I'll go in and I will use a pendulum generally, or I'll intuitively guess, or I'll ask them, which one resonates with you first, whether it's the Bach flowers, homeopathy, tissue salts. I use those a lot. The Schussler's, they're fantastic. Gem essences, the bush, or whatever it is, homeopathy, because I always support with one of those for the emotional well-being. So if you are curious about what is going on for yourself or what is going on for somebody else, start with the chakras, because it will give you a fantastic story that is much deeper, that you can start to explore, and they can also understand where they can make changes when they understand what each of these is saying and telling. So I shall leave it there for you. I mean, I could talk to you about chakras for hours, because I just love the system, and I've worked with so many people with it, with the healing, without the healing. So there's so many different ways that we can balance the chakras, but this is just one of the ways that I use.
Do you know, Fiona, that was awesome. And it was very interesting, because I know Adrienne is very creative and she was smiling away. So does anybody have any questions for Fiona? You can just unmute yourself and ask a question. Are there any questions?
To be honest, it's actually quite scary when you start actually looking at it, and so much of what you've said, I'm like, oh, that's me. Oh, that's me. So yeah, thank you very much for sharing that. It has triggered a few things for me that I'm like, oh, I understand that now. I need
And
to
Karen, from the scan, I know that sacral, the only one that I remember was quite low was sacral, but there were two more. So that's the creativity and that's the throat, you know, it's counterbalance. What were the other two? Have you got the scan there? Just so, because it's just so fascinating and interesting.
It's still going.
Yeah.
So I'm just having a look to see if I can see.
I think, was it heart?
Was it it's interesting, isn't it? I just focused in on one. Fiona, put your contact details in the chat just for anybody else that might be watching on a replay.
Yeah, I'll give you my email.
So I know it was sacral, and I thought, wow, okay, so that's the center of creativity. Yeah,
it's a sense of, but it's also, you know, the sacral. Oh gosh, sorry, that's my, just been doing spleen. It's the emotional center. So you imagine, you know, it's the water center. So water can be very calm. It can be like this, you know, water goes through every aspect. So how are you emotionally showing up? And at the moment, and you see, if your roots are rocked, if your roots are not solid, everything else is like, ugh. You know, it doesn't take much to rock everything else out of balance. So this is where get out onto the earth, ground yourself every day, go and stand by a tree, feel the roots coming down from your feet. I mean, I do everything starts off with the root chakra, because this is our foundation. You know, it's very well saying, you know, the heart, do this. Yes, we need all that, but you've got to be grounded to start the foundation, to rebuild that. Because when you look at a geyser and you know the water that comes up out of the ground, it's most impactful from the base, because it needs that energy, that fire from the earth to push it upwards. And that's the same as our energy system. It doesn't start from here up. It starts from the base and comes up.
Awesome. So even more even more reason to get yourself to a Healy Roadshow, guys. So, you know, just fascinating stuff. If you there's Fiona's details, but you can reach out to whoever invited you to the call. They can do you a chakra reading and send you some frequencies. And I reckon we'll all be running our root chakra on the Healy sometime this week. But the Frequency Roadshow, we're on a mission. Yeah, Einstein said the future medicine is the medicine of frequencies. We are on a mission in the UK to get this information out there. We're on a mission to let people know you don't have to suffer any longer. You're using technology in every other part of your life. Use it for your wellness as well. So 21st of June is London, and then 23rd of June is Manchester, and the 25th of June is Edinburgh. So come and join us. I haven't put the details in the chat, but I can do for anybody else. I've got them right here. Just going to copy and paste them for anybody else that's watching on a replay. Get yourself to one of these events, because not only is it going to just give you a different perspective, you are going to meet amazing, I'm not being funny, amazing people. This is going to really, really lift your spirits. If you are down in the dumps, if you're like a bit complacent, if you're like, well, you know, is this it? Get yourself to one of these events, because it will change you for sure. That's me. Anything else to say?
No, I think you've covered everything. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. And thank you so much, Fiona, for sharing your knowledge on the chakras. Certainly grateful for you. It was really wonderful. Thank you. Thanks, Anita. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
So we have these for another few weeks, don't we? Wednesdays, 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. And they're just a little frequency experience. Did you want to say something, Adrienne? Adrienne?
Yeah, no, that really resonated, Fiona. I am very, very creative. I'm an artist, and I do lots of different things, but I was actually born with a thyroid issue. I have congenital hypothyroidism, and I find it very difficult to find my words sometimes, and like standing up in front of people, it just completely freaks me out. So it's definitely an area to be working on for sure. But I'm going to go back and
what's interesting, I'll tell you, Adrienne, that the throat chakra and the sacral chakra work very much together, because the sacral chakra you are creating in the physical sense, the throat chakra is where you're expressing it.
Yeah. So
these two, and if you look, they're opposite colors, yeah? So this is what I found with everybody who I've done a chakra reading on who's a creative. They cannot, the solar plexus, because they don't know how to put it out there, and then they cannot speak about it. So those are the two chakras that have always, on all of them, have shown up as being, oh my God, we need to work on those. The other thing that I would say very finally, do figure of eights, do the infinity sign over it. Rub your hands together, energetically do this over all of your chakras.
Okay.
Infinity. It's the most powerful sign that you can use to shift the energy, because it's bringing it all back into balance.
Thank you. Thank you.
There we go. What a fabulous call. Thank you so much. I think we've all really, really enjoyed this. And I think we could just do a whole workshop on chakras, but that's another story for another day. So get in touch with the person that invited you here. If you're watching the replay and you'd like a chakra scan, get in touch. And remember this frequency experience. And even if you have booked a ticket, who can you invite along that might enjoy this? Or if you can't go, who do you know that might enjoy this? Because it will be a true gift and a blessing. So thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.